Hi, my name is Alan from LB Property. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In Singapore, where more than 80% of the population live in public flats, the role of the policymaker play an important role in shaping our nation's housing issues. In this video, I will outline how I will address some of Singapore's most pressing housing issues, including starting the verse earlier, relooking housing policy to encourage birth rates, addressing BTO supply issues, and the affordability of HDB resale flats. Let me wear the hat of a policymaker and address all these issues once and for all. By the way, don't say property agents are only good at selling and buying properties. We can also offer some great suggestions. Singapore HDB flats are built on 99 years lease, and many older flats like Queenstown, Ang Mo Kio, and Marine Parade are already reaching the halfway mark. For residents in this estate, the prospect of lease decay is a growing concern. While the government has mentioned the Voluntary Early Redevelopment Scheme, or VERS. VERS is a voluntary scheme that will be offered to selected precincts with flats about 70 years old. This means they are still a good 15 years from implementation. This means it will only take place from 2040 onwards. Most of such flats will be left with a remaining lease of less than 30 years then. 真的是谁佛? Here, if I were the policymaker, I will bring VERS forward and pilot it in selected mature estate starting as early as 2030, right before the next general election. Election year, how not to satisfy growing uncertainty from homeowners staying in aging HDB flats? The aim of VERS is to provide homeowners with clarity and options, and at the same time rejuvenate older towns with modern amenities, greener spaces, and better infrastructure. How will VERS be worked out? Simple. My proposal will involve acquiring such flats based on current valuation. No extra compensation should be given out, else this will derail the entire HDB resale market. Existing homeowners will start asking for premium because their flats will have VERS potential. If every homeowner staying in aging flats play the VERS game, Singapore mati liao. Existing homeowners will be given priority to select HDB BTO flats subjected to clawback, especially for 99 years fresh lease. Why clawback? Simple. HDB BTO flats are heavily subsidized. If everyone can select a fresh lease, this means more people will chiong and buy aging resale flats. This also means Singaporeans will go for either BTO flats or aging HDB flats. Who will then buy resale flat? Will this be healthy for the overall HDB market? For those that cannot afford fresh 99 years BTO flats, they should be given flats on shorter lease or flexi flats. Some will say this is not fair. Sorry folks, it's either you let the lease run out or take on the VERS choice. This is a hard choice to make. One has to understand the implication of a depreciating lease. I also expand VERS beyond just demolish and rebuild. I find that some of these flats have very strong iconic values that reflect on Singapore's built heritage. They could be repurposed for short-term rental or rezoned for commercial use. This will inject more vibrancy into our built environment. Singapore's low birth rate has become a nation concern. Currently, first-time home buyers receive the most support, but growing families who are often second-timer buyers face challenges in securing suitable BTO flats, especially when upgrading from a smaller unit to accommodate more children. Here, I will introduce a family growth priority scheme, giving second-timers applicants with at least one child higher priority in BTO balloting, especially for larger 5-room flats. This will send a clear message. If you are growing your family, we got you covered. If you have more children, the priority will be higher. Simple as this. This also applies to booking an executive condominium. The authority has mentioned many times on the affordability of HDB flats. Minister Desmond Lee has also shared in Parliament that 8 in 10 first-timer households who collect their keys to their BTO flats and resale flats in 2025 use little to no cash to service their HDB monthly mortgage installment. For BTO flats, I'm very sure since they are selling at a more affordable prices, there is high chances that there is no need to top up even with cash. But that can't really be said for HDB resale flats. So much about affordability. Let me pluck out some numbers using limited resource to run my own analysis. These data are from the Department of Statistics. HDB use the amount of cash to service their monthly mortgage installment to define affordability. Well, this is not wrong, but I have another way to look at numbers. Let me compare monthly household employment income since 2020, as that was the last general election. For the 50% percentile or medium household, their monthly income in 2020 was 9,189. In 2024, it has risen to 11,297, or 23% in the last 4 years. Well, this is good news. Income has risen. However, if I'm going to compare it against HDB RPI back in 4th quarter 2020, the RPI then was 138.1. In 4th quarter 2024, the RPI was 197.9, or an astonishing 43% increment. Based on the median household income increase of 23%, this means HDB prices has surpassed by 20%. I get a little worried that HDB price has increased more than median household income. Okay, so much about HDB flats. Let's compare against private property prices. Since close to 80% of the population are staying in HDB flats, this means 20% of the population are staying in private property. Correct or not? Most likely, those that are earning more are staying in private. If I use the top 80% of household income as a gauge, they are drawing 17,789 in 2020. In 2024, their wages have increased to 21,448, or a 21% increase. As for the URA Property Price Index, it was 157 in 4th quarter 2020. It shot up to 209.4 in 4th quarter 2024. This is a difference of 33%. Does this mean that private property prices has surpassed by 10% more than the top 80% of household income? Do I talk sense here? That is why most HDB upgraders chomp for EC, because they are the next most affordable private homes around. At this junction, I'm a little concerned if the upgrading dream is still possible for better off Singaporeans. HDB has over the past decades did a fantastic job in building HDB flats for Singaporeans. There is no doubt about that. They have built 3-generation flats for those with extended families, to shorter lease HDB flats for our seniors, to allow singles to book BTO flats directly. There are also schemes to uplift lower income families to own their flat with addition housing grant and priority schemes. All these build a more inclusive housing environment for all Singaporeans. Not only that, HDB has built an entire township from schools, malls, neighborhood park to amenities, all within a HDB town. Flats today are also strongly focused on sustainability and green features such as solar panels, rainwater harvesting system to green corridor. The best part, HDB designed practical flat for families. The only complaint I have is still the laundry area. That's why BTO flats are getting better and better. Some of them are even far superior than private condominiums in my opinion. If you don't believe in me, please go and visit some by yourself. That is why the trend of $1 million HDB flats will continue to stay. It will not abate. This is also due to HDB's very own success. Going forward with more plus and prime flats all around Singapore, can such newer BTO flats compete head-on with 99 years resale condos? Think about it, if I make sense here. That is why BTO flat tagline should be renamed from BTO Together to BTO What Forever. By the way, this year is HDB's 60 years old anniversary. Here on behalf of all Singaporeans, I would like to say a big thank you to HDB for nation building. That's all. Thank you for watching.